It is time for a new tier list on the newest patch, and also, of course, combined with Meowscarada being now part of Unite. As always, we have two tier lists. The first one will be for top and bot path, depending on how well the Pokemon does throughout the entire game. And the second tier list will be for central area. So let's head into the top and bot path tier list. I'm going to start off with Cinderace as always, down into D tier. Has terrible early game, terrible last sitting, and needs late game, needs to be strong in late game, which you just don't get in top and bot path all too often. Garchomp, I feel like, has dropped off a tiny bit. I'm going to put into B+ tier, down from A. There's certain matchups that are pretty difficult right now. Also, the new item Charm doesn't really do out too much for him. And playing against Dragapult can be quite difficult, as you get kited very much, and you die very fast as well. So yeah, I'm going to put on into B+ tier. Gengar currently feels pretty bad, I have to say, especially in path as well, sadly. I can't really put it higher than C tier, I feel like, even though I would like to, but it doesn't really feel good right now as a Pokemon. Might be the worst speedster currently that we have, but it doesn't even mean that it's all too bad. You know, it's still fine Pokemon you can probably play, and if you're good at it, you can for sure carry with it. Cramorant, I really like right now. Dive and Air Slash is super strong, might even be high in the future, but with the Spell Vamp it got, it's very strong now. Ninetales, both builds are very good, I would say. You can play Blizzard Avalanche, you can play Veilgleam, and you can have a very good performance on both of those builds. Wigglytuff, I feel like Wigglytuff is always that hidden Pokemon that's kind of like strong, kind of there somewhere, but in the end it just always ends up a bit average. It has a pretty good Unite move, good laning phase, but yeah, I do think it's quite fine. Machamp also, I'm not the biggest fan of it right now, but I think it can still be B+ tier, but I can't really put it much higher. It's just very average, and I think B+ kind of means very average, or B in general, the B tier is very average. Absol and Path, it can work very well, but you have to be very good on it. I can still struggle, but I do like also Absol and Path, and it's something you can for sure consider playing. Again, gonna just 1 second again explain. This just means it's OP. This means they are stronger than average. This means they are pretty much playable and viable. B tier will always mean viable, and it's Pokemon you can play and have success on. C is borderline. Maybe you should start considering something else, and D is just, please do not. The DHDs for do not play these Pokemon on top or bot path. Slowbro, up into A+. I don't think it's S tier worthy, but it's still quite good. I think Mr. Mime actually is probably still B+. I don't know if I can put it back into A tier, but I think Mr. Mime has potential to be higher depending on how players adjust to the current meta. Venusaur, I think, still solid A tier Pokemon when it comes to the Beam build. Lucario, I feel like, has dropped off a tiny bit as well. I'm gonna put it down into B+ tier. Just doesn't feel like all too good right now. I mean, it's always quite fine if you're very good at it, but if you're not, then it's kind of like, I mean, it's just about average. Talonflame, I think it's one of the speedsters you can actually lane with, but I can't really put it higher than B tier, I would say. But again, B tier means you can play those and have success on. Next up, we have Eldegoss. It's a very strong support, even after the nerfs we had a while ago. Very strong. Greninja, just terrible, similar to Cinderace. He does get a bit stronger much earlier, but it's just something you shouldn't consider. I think Crush is one of those also just very hidden, very strong Pokemon that I enjoy. Crush goes into A tier for me. Snorlax is also quite good, but I feel like I can't put into A tier. I don't know for what reasons, but I don't like putting it into A tier, but I think it's between B+ and A. Snorlax quite underrated. I really like Heavy Slam Yawn. It just sucks a lot in solo queue, but it gets much better in coordinated play. Charizard with the new item. Sadly, for lane, it doesn't matter all too much. I think the new item is very good for jungle Charizard, but for lane Charizard, it's just still not really it, I have to say. Pikachu, I really like Thunderbolt. I think it's a very solid build you can play. You can currently see special attacker Pokemon are still very good when it comes to top and bot path. Zeraora joins Gengar down here. I think Absolutano are a bit ahead of those two speedsters when it comes to laning currently. Gardevoir, I think B+ is probably fair. Psyshock, Future Sight are fine, but it's nothing too crazy right now. It also gets kind of outranged. There's a lot of snipers going on still. Venusaur, right? We have Inteleon. We have Mew, who just snipe from very far away. And Gardevoir gets kind of outranged by those. Blissey, very strong Pokemon, easily A+. Then we have Blastoise, who's currently also probably A+. I don't think I'm going to put it into S tier. I think S tier... What do you even put into S tier? I think Zacian goes into S tier, and the rest I have to think about. Let me just put Zacian already up there. Where is he? Zacian goes up here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything else into it. Maybe Inteleon? Snapshot Inteleon, I think, when it comes to laning, is still probably S tier as well. But I think I'm going to only leave those up right now. I think right now there's not, like, Pokemon that are super broken, except for maybe Zacian still, even though he got also, his buffs got reverted again. But yeah, Mamoswine, probably the worst defender right now. Just goes into B tier. Nothing special really. Greedent, B+, I think that's quite fair. It needs, like, green needs to be played by a good player, and even then it just kind of feels a bit mid right now, for sure. Sylveon needs buffs badly, but I don't think it's like COD tier worthy. You can still pick Sylveon with Hyper Voice and do a lot of work, but it does need buffs very desperately for sure. Like, it's on the edge of being pretty much unplayable as well, which maybe it is actually. Not sure. Decidueye in Path, I will put it into B tier, but only... I have to put it into C tier. I want to put it into B tier, but it's only good if you have an XP share support. So you can always adjust your pick depending on what your ally picks. If you see you have a tank like Snorlax, or, you know, I don't know, a Slowbro, Blastoise with XP share in your lane, or Blissey, Shanzi, whatever, you can go into here or here. But if that doesn't happen, which is most of the time, it belongs into here. Like, I can't rate these off of having XP share right necessarily, because when you go into ranked, there's not always a chance you have XP share. You can, of course, if you play pre-made, it can easily be up here, but only with XP share. Serena actually performs quite well right now when it comes to win rates, but I don't know, I think it has chance of being A tier again after the latest buffs. I'm actually going to put it into A tier for now. The win rates are good. I try to always get my own opinions in, combined with win rates as well that I see. And if Serena's performing well when it comes to overall in the game, when I look at win rates and stuff and builds, how they perform, I also, you know, judge based on that. And for that, Serena's actually doing quite well. As we have Dragonite and Path, can't recommend, takes too long to really get going. Trevenant, solid A tier, just a very good defender that does its job. H-Slash, still also only B+. It just takes a bit too long sometimes to come online, and that's the biggest issue. Like getting to level 7 sounds easy, but sometimes it's very difficult. Hooper, I think, is probably still S tier as well, even after the nerfs. This Pokemon is so painful to be up against. So much macro. In tournaments, it's still dominating as well. Even though I feel like Clefable, Blissey, Eldegoss are all very strong. Clefable as well goes also into A+ or even S tier. I think Clefable is super strong. I don't know what to put into S tier, but I feel like this Pokemon does need nerfs. Dualadon, it's fine in Path, honestly. And it's the only basic attack Pokemon that is physical you can pick in Path and be fine with. Azumarill, for me, it's still A tier. Maybe not for others, but I think Azumarill is quite strong, personally still. But it does struggle as well into certain matchups. Espeon, to me, Stored Power and Psybeam is still easily A tier build. The other ones are okay. Like Psyshock is B+, and Stored Power Psybeam is here. And Future Sight Stored Power is down here, okay? Future Sight Stored Power, Psyshock, Psybeam, Stored Power, Psybeam. Hope we got this. Delphox, B+, I think, for Fire Spin, Fire Blast, and Path is quite fair. Glaceon is actually pretty good right now with Icicle Spear and Ice Shard. Gonna put it also into A tier. Buzzwole goes into the A+ tier, especially after it got like a secret buff or bug, whatever it is. It's not really banned anywhere. I don't think anyone's gonna get shamed for playing Buzzwole with a bug. But pretty much unstoppable targets always take damage now from his superpower, which is pretty strong. Trenatar goes into D tier. I don't think I have to talk about this too much. Also, currently, it's very difficult to play Trenatar. If the team has a Dragapult on the enemy side, it's quite difficult to play against. Mew is going to drop from S into A+ tier after the nerfs, but it's still absolutely excellent, and you shouldn't underestimate a Mew, that is for sure. Dodrio goes into the A+ tier still. People are like, oh, Dodrio lane A+, but yeah, it's a very strong Pokemon. Very annoying as well to deal with, for sure. Also, the Charm is very good on it as well, the Charging Charm. So, yep. Scizor, C tier. Can't wait for the comments to say, Chris, Scizor is so much better. I have a 65% win rate playing half against bots up in Veteran 3. I'm popping off with it. I'm just looking forward to those comments. Zoroark. I don't know if I want to put it into A+ tier, but I think it's still solid A to me. Again, I'm not ranking these in their tier. I'm not ranking them in their tier. I'm just ranking them. I'm ranking these. No, I'm not ranking these, is what I'm gonna say. God, sorry, I have a bit of a headache. I'm just trying my best right here. They're just put in by roles. So we have attacker, all-rounder, speedster, defender, support, just for a bit of visuals. But I'm not ranking these in their own tier, right? Like, if Ninetales is here, Cramoran is here, doesn't mean Ninetales is better. I'm not doing any of that, just so you know. Sableye, for some reason, feels super good right now and absolutely hate it. It's also performing quite well. Please don't play Sableye, thank you. Dark Urshifu in Path, yeah, maybe like, nah, probably Seed. I hate lane Ushifus. It's so useless, I swear. It's very useless. Dragapult in Path. Now, this is a difficult one. I don't like it in Path at all. But I think I still have to respect it to put into A tier, just because it has a lot of potential. But I don't like it in Path, and I don't recommend it unless you have an XP share support as well. XP share support defender, you can play it. Otherwise, I would not recommend. Comfey, easily A+ tier as well. With Zacian, with Dodrio and stuff, Zoroark, it's just super annoying to deal with. Goodra, I think still B+. Another thing is quite A tier, just because it's just level 8 is so annoying for a defender. If they remove their level 8 and make it level 7, I think Goodra will instantly be A tier. So, but with level 8, it sometimes just takes a bit too long. Lapras still easily A+ to me as well. Water Pulse, Ice Beam is super strong, super underrated. Something you can carry games with super easily. Chandelure, I'm actually a big Chandelure fan currently of Flamethrower, and I think it's easily A tier as well. It can lane on bot path quite well. Once you get to level 5, you can get a lot of last hits, do a lot of damage, poke a lot, and quite good. And all these attackers up here. All-rounders apparently currently struggling a tiny bit, I feel like. Umbreon also A+ tier for sure. Snarl is super overpowered still. Or not overpowered, but super strong. Beanlock and Foul Play are both very strong and difficult to deal with. Leafeon goes, in my opinion, back to A+ after the Charging Charm being added. Maybe this might be a bit too high, but it's also seen a lot of like tournament play as well. And the Charging Charm is very, very strong in this Pokemon. It had the lowest win rate on the latest patch before it got, before Charging Charm came out. But I think that was a skill issue. Like, I didn't believe in Leafeon being the worst Pokemon, for sure not. Mewtwo X and Path, I think, is quite fine. Goes into maybe actually A+ tier when it comes to laning. Mewtwo Y as well, A+. But again, another Pokemon that can need XP share, but it can auto-attack a lot as well in early game and be quite annoying. As we have Blaziken, it got nerfed, but still easily A tier for me as well. Mimikyu in Path, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think it takes a bit too long to get really rolling in Path. I'd rather have it in Jungle. I'll put it into B+ tier. Also got nerfed, so yeah, it's alright. Starting Strikes Urshifu goes into D tier. Absolutely trash now. Cannot recommend playing this build, especially not in Path. Do not play Starting Strikes Urshifu in Path. Do not. Scyther goes next to Scizor as a very mid Pokemon right now. And now Meowscarada. I'm going to put Meowscarada. I think I'm going to put it in Path towards A tier. I think A tier is fair. It has very good laning. It does struggle in late game teamfights a lot, but it has fine laning and it has potential, but I don't know actually. Like, team fighting is very difficult with it. I think it takes a good amount of skill as well to really get going. It's a weird Pokemon to rank. It's somewhere between A and B+. I honestly, difficult to decide. But it just got buffed as well. B+ or A tier. I mean, you can take with a grain of salt. It's somewhere between B+. Maybe if you're like a average player, it's somewhere here. If you're a bit of a better player, it's up here. It has very good laning phase. Leverage does a lot of damage now. You get to your power spikes pretty fast. So probably A tier is quite fair for this one as well. But yeah, somewhere between this. For sure not up here. The buffs did not break this Pokemon. That's all I want to say. So yeah, somewhere between here and there. You guys can decide on your own where you want to put it. I leave both of these options open to you. That's it for the tier list as well, for the lane tier list. Let me know in the comments as always what you agree and what you disagree with. Always curious for you guys' opinions. And then we head into the next one. Now the Central Area tier list. Here Cinderace is still also underperforming. Putting into B tier. Garchomp currently as well a bit underperforming, I would say there as well. But still I'd rather have Garchomp than a Cinderace for some reason. Gengar, yeah, maybe B tier, B+, maybe a bit better than... I mean, I feel like Cinderace is currently outclassed, that is for sure, so... And Gengar can be good against Dragapult, which currently is played as the most played Pokemon, so Speedsters will do a bit better against it, that is for sure. Cramorant, very underrated, gonna go into A+ for me. Dive Air Slash, super good in Jungle. Ninetales with Veil and Gleam could actually be played as a jungler again. Now that Veil and Gleam is good again, it can actually be a Central Area Pokemon, but yeah. Still nothing too amazing. I have to give this a try again though. Machamp in Central Area I currently would not play. Absol, I like a lot. Pursuit Sucker Punch, also very good against Dragapult. I'm a fan of it, especially with the Charging Charm. I've had a lot of success with this Pokemon and this build. Venusaur still A+ when it comes to Central Area, to me as well. Winger's gonna join next to Cinderace. Apparently in every tier list they're the same. Pikachu Central Area, please do not play it. Talonflame, I think Talonflame is actually quite good, personally. I think Charging Charm as well made both builds better. Gonna put it into A tier. I think Talonflame can make a lot of things done. Their aura is alright. Nothing too crazy, but I do think that B+ is totally fair for it. Lucario, D tier. Charizard. And I do like Charizard as well. I think A tier is fair for it. Sylveon probably goes into D tier right here. Decidueye, A tier, has good poke, good secure, good level 7. It's just a good Pokemon. Gardevoir, I feel like has fallen off a tiny bit just because it gets outranged. I think B+, I don't want to put it much higher. I think it can get quite a lot done. And again, B+ doesn't mean bad. B+ is still a good rating as well. Dragonite, I think, is quite underrated. I think Hyper Beam is good, Outrage is good. You can play both and have a lot of success with it. Serena Central Area is alright. Promising like level 6. You don't get level 6 on your first gank, which makes it a bit worse. But it can totally work there as well. Aegislation Central Area is also fine if you really want to play it. Dualodon, also very good. Just no one wants to play this Pokemon just because it's very boring, but it has good secure. It's a hyper carry for endgame, so yeah, can be quite good. Stored Power Psybeam in Central Area Espeon is also quite fine, but nothing too special, I would say. Again, you either want to have a very good late game carry in Central Area, or you want to have something that's very strong at level 5. Those are the two criteria for a good Central Area Pokemon. And Espeon kind of does have a strong level 5, but like you don't need a lot of experience on this Pokemon, so it's just still much better to be played in Path. Delphox is struggling a tiny bit, but I think if you're a good Mystic Fire Flame Charge player, you can get a lot of work done. Good late game carry. Glaceon. Icicle Speed does so much damage right now, absolutely hate playing against it. Buzzwole is a waste to put into Central Area, just because it also has very strong laning, so I wouldn't recommend it. Azumarill needs attack rate stacks as well. Actually, this way Serena is also kind of bad. Like, Serena, without attack rate stacks, is quite bad, so if you don't get them done, it can struggle quite a lot as well. I should put into... Actually, no, B tier is still fine. And Azumarill Central Area, again, also you get level 4 so fast, you don't have to be in Central Area. Mew has fallen off a tiny bit because of the nerfs. Takes a bit more to clear the jungle now. And I think A tier is still fine though as well for this. Also, I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of speedrun through the end of this tier list because my headache is currently... I thought I could do it with a headache, but apparently not. So I'm going to try to speedrun through this a tiny bit. Trinita currently pretty bad in Central because of Dragapult. I'm going to put into S tier as well already. Dragapult currently very, very strong. I do think it's not God tier, so you can take it down, but it's for sure one of the best Pokemon currently in the game. Dodrio as well, still very strong in Central Area, should not be underestimated. Zoroark is alright, has strong level 5, but just adds a bit of late game punch. Urshifu with Wicked Blow, I think probably A tier still. I'm not a big fan of it, but I just don't like playing it, but it's very good of course. Zacian S tier. Then we have Chandelure, which I'm a big fan of, into A tier as well. Scizor, please stop picking Scizor in Central Area, thank you very much. Leafeon in Central Area is also kind of waste, just because, I mean, it is good if you jungle share. If you don't jungle share, which doesn't happen in normal ranked, it's kind of eh. Inteleon has dropped off as well because Liquidation actually got hit quite hard. So I'm going to put down maybe into... I mean, you can still play Snipe Shot in Central Area and still do well as well, so maybe that's... Like, Snipe Shot is just better now, though. Mewtwo X, I would say A tier. Mewtwo Y into S tier. When it comes to Central Area, Blaziken, not a big fan of Central Area Blaziken. And then we have Mimikyu with Play Rough, which also got nerfed, but I think Shadow Claw and Shadow Sneak is still easily A+ tier. Then we have Scyther. I'm just not a big fan of Scyther, really, I'm not. Goes into C tier. Surging Strikes Urshifu as well. Like, I'm not joking, it's so bad right now. If you take a look at the win rates as well, you can see, like, do not play Surging Strikes Urshifu. Absolutely do not play it. It is terrible after the nerfs. They were very harsh. Meowscarada in Central Area is also kind of trash. I do not like it whatsoever, because it's kind of waste to put in Central Area. It doesn't have strong level 5, and it's not a late game carry. So I would not recommend playing this Pokemon in Central Area. It's for sure someone that goes top and bot path, so you either have a strong jungler for early game, or you have a late game carry as well. If you put Meowscarada in Central Area, you will neither. You will neither have a level 5 strong, gank, and you don't have late game either, because this Pokemon doesn't have late game. Hope you guys enjoyed this tier list. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!